Hello everyone, this is a video that I've just done. It actually covers a few things. First of all, it's a kind of video review and playthrough of Golden Axe. Now, this version of Golden Axe is actually one which I downloaded off Xbox Live Arcade. This isn't the version that was released on the Sega Mega Drive. This is actually the version from the arcade original, and it is quite, I think anyway, it's quite a lot tougher. And I'm not just saying that because, as you'll see from the video, I'm diabolically rubbish at this, but it is tougher. The arcade original, in my opinion, played a little bit faster than the Mega Drive version, and I think it did a fair bit of cheating as well. I don't think the collision detection was quite as good as the Mega Drive version either. The other thing that I'm doing here is I'm testing some new video capture software and hardware that I've bought. The idea behind this was to just to improve the quality of my videos, really. Pointing a camcorder at the television isn't the best way to actually record videos, and actually doing it this way with this video capture hardware and software that I've got is actually a lot easier. I don't have to worry about rogue audio or adverse lighting conditions. I just hook the thing up to my laptop and use a splitter to hook it up to my TV so I can play the game. The only downside to it is it's in standard definition, which isn't too bad for a game like this, but I can imagine some of the high definition games obviously won't look as good. But I mean, I'm prepared to accept that while I'm playing or doing a review or a playthrough, that the picture quality will be in standard definition. You know, it's not like I'm playing in standard definition all the time. It's only really going to be with a view to creating these videos. Going back to Golden Axe, I first came across this back in, I think it will have been 1989 or 1990, I can't remember now. I was on holiday in Canada. My cousin over there, he was a real big game freak like me. He was like a couple of years younger than me, but he was really into games. And one day we went, he had a not a Super Nintendo, an NES, a Nintendo Entertainment System. Well, anyway, one day we went out, the whole family went out, and we went to Niagara, and we went into an arcade there, and there was this game called Golden Axe, and I was immediately drawn to it. I saw the machine, had, you know, the big sort of drawings, the artwork on the side of it, and I thought that was pretty good, because I was always sort of into the old sort of sword fighting games and what have you. And I went into the arcade with my cousin, and I don't know how much it was, because it was in cents and dollars, so I don't know how much it was, but we spent a good few hours playing this game until we beat it. Because one of the great things about this game was its co-op play. Obviously I'm playing here as Axe Battler in single player mode, but you could have, I can't remember now whether it was 2 or 3 players, because there's 3 characters, but I don't know if you could actually play 3-player co-op. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it was definitely 2-player co-op in the arcade. I've got a feeling it was 3, because I seem to remember the arcade machine being quite an unusual shape, a bit like the sort of Gauntlet arcade machine. So I think it was 3-player co-op, and anyway, we only played 2-player co-op. I'm sort of digressing a little bit there, that's not important. The game itself was just so addictive. I just felt the need to progress to the next level, you know, and really wanted to beat it, because it was quite infuriating at times how the game played. and so on and so forth. You know, there was some really unfair bits in it that you can die, and you'll see this coming later on. Now, another reason I'm pants at this game in this review, and I'm not just making up excuses here, is the Xbox 360 joypad is probably the worst joypad in the world to try and play old style or fighting games on like this, because you either have to use the analog stick or the D-pad. Now, the analog stick just doesn't work for a game like this. It just simply, in my opinion anyway, it doesn't work, because some of the moves in the game require like a quick double tap to pull off, and it's just so hard to do with the analog stick. You'll try and do it and you'll just either just not do it, fly across the screen at completely the wrong time, or you'll just end up getting battered. So you're losing the ability to do some of the moves. It's like there, I mean, I did a charge, an elbow charge there, and I didn't actually mean to do it. If you try to use the D-pad, for anybody that's never used an Xbox 360 D-pad, all I can say is they may as well have made the D-pad out of cheese, because it really is that bad. It's a complete waste of space. There's nothing else to describe how bad the D-pad is on the console. It is rubbish. Half the time it doesn't work properly. I mean, you can be hammering away at it and it just doesn't work. And for a game like this, where timing and precision is absolutely everything, you can just forget about it. It doesn't work. So, you know, I know they say a poor workman always blames his tools, but you know, if you're trying to hammer a nail in a wall with a hammer made out of straw, it's going to be very difficult, and it's not going to be too successful, and that's kind of like what I'm up against here. I have been tempted to go and buy one of the fight sticks, because I believe that the fight stick itself is better for these type of games, because it's micro switched. But anyway, so going back to the game, the concept of the game is very simple, as arcade games were back then and probably still are today. You're out for revenge, dependent on the character you play. You're out for revenge against a guy called Death Adder, whose army has invaded your lands and killed or enslaved people, and has captured some royalty of the land, and it's up to you to go and save them. Now, as I've already mentioned, you can play as 3 different characters. This is Axe Battler. His magic is sort of a medium magic ability, and his fighting is pretty medium as well. He's like the best of both worlds character. There's Gilius Thunderhead, who's a dwarf, and his magic is very poor. It's only a small magic, but his fighting ability is a lot higher. And then there's Tyrus Flare, who is an Amazonian type warrior, and her magic is a lot more powerful, but her fighting ability is quite limited. So it really just, you know, you've got something there that can cater for different playing types. I like playing as Axe Battler, because particularly in single player, because you get the best of both worlds. But if you play multiplayer, it's always good, I think, to have a balance. So anyway, that's it for the first part of this recording, and I'll see you for part 2. Thanks for watching.